I had like an immediate gratification from implementing Zoho. There are of course ways and pathways to improve and utilize it better.
Right.
But I liked it very much.
For people that don't understand the process in in the medical field, because it's so competitive, you will have someone that you spend money with to do your advertisements and your marketing. And then you need to pay for the sources, wherever you're buying the traffic from AdWords or Facebook or specialized websites. And then those leads coming to your system. And then it's extremely expensive. And most businesses will not have any way to understand where the leads are coming from, how much it costs to bring them, which phrases people looked when they came in, what kind of services they're looking for. And the bottom line is you're flying very fast with your eyes closed, and you just hope that you won't crash into something and whatever you do is right. Hello, everyone. Today I have a very special guest. He's originally from the Special Forces. He's also a plastic surgeon working in New York, doing crazy things. Hello, Dr. Weiser.
Good morning. Pleasure to be here.
How are you, sir?
I'm great.
You have a very special story, and every time we talk more, I see more crazy things. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm an Israeli board-certified plastic surgeon. I started my career as part of a military program for medicine and became a military physician. Before I started to serve, I did a PhD in epidemiology and public health, and then served the military for 6 years. I was infantry battalion physician and brigade physician, and also special forces physicians for around 2.5 years.
Now, what it means, special forces physician? What it means? Give us the cool stuff.
From whatever I can tell,
of course,
you're basically in charge of
just between us, by the way.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. We'll just send it to the IDF censorship later.
That's right.
Cut it out. You're in charge of all the health and medical aspects of the unit, and you also are the one that provides medical support during combat operations, meaning that you have to be trained as a combat soldier. So I did basically 50-60% of all the special forces training, together with kids who were like 10 years younger than me or 15 years younger than me at that time.
That was easy.
Yeah. Piece of cake.
Okay, very good. And once you finished your service, how did you make the jump to a plastic surgeon? Because it looks like a huge jump.
Well, it is. Surgery is something that I was always considering to do. I always wanted to do something, that involves both patient care and also a skill that has art and dexterity to it. When I was a kid, I used to be trained as a classical pianist. So finger dexterity and hand dexterity is something that I enjoy very much. And at the time when I was I actually considered to be an OBGYN. But in the last minute, I switched to plastic surgery. I think because I thought that medicine altogether is moving towards approach where it mostly concentrating on quality of life of patients. We have come to that age where we're considering more quality of life care and not just, saving them and saving life. We're more focused today on quality of life. We're drilling down there.
Right.
And plastic surgery is the leading specialty in that field, because everything in plastic surgery revolves around quality of life. Plastic surgery was basically developed as a specialty after the First World War, where a lot of soldiers that were injured and not killed came with big deformities in their face and bodies, and New Zealand ENT surgeon basically started to develop all kinds of reconstructive options to close those big defects and restore their form and function. And that's basically plastic surgery. So when you become specialized in that, you also have the ability to rejuvenate, give new form, and actually address a lot of cosmetic issues because you have those tools. You have a toolbox for that. And this is how aesthetic surgery started to develop and evolve through the reconstructive part. Today, I'm involved in very advanced reconstructive surgery technique that involves basically taking a part of your tissue from one area of your body to reconstruct another. For example, I do a lot of breast reconstruction, taking skin and fat from the belly with its blood supply and reconnecting those blood vessels under our microscope in the chest to recreate a breast.
And I did see some before and after pictures, and it was unreal. It was like you took it from a movie. It's just unreal. And I just want to add that you are doing most of them under the public care,
right?
When you can make hundreds of thousands of dollars on each one of those operations, you still give your time and you do it under the public care, which this is, remarkable.
Yeah, so I chose a hybrid model of work where part of the week I'm working in a public hospital that is run by Mount Sinai as well. So I'm part of Mount Sinai faculty, and there I have the opportunity to perform very complex reconstructive cases. And I do it for several reasons. The first reason is, first of all, the oath that I took as a doctor. It allows me basically to be accessible to patients who cannot afford doing it in the private settings and still enjoy high level of reconstruction in the neighborhood that I am. It's a very underserved population. Second, in this hospital, I can see very complex cases, and that allows me to still maintain a high level of skill and maintain my professionalism, which happens less in the private setting. I enjoy teaching students and residents, and I'm also part of a faculty that also enriches my clinical knowledge and experience. I'm part of a quorum of plastic surgeons, and I learn from them, and I share my experience, my thoughts, my mistakes with them, and that enriches me. That makes me better. And this is something you don't get in the private setting. So I hold that dear to my heart.
Look, it's we're in a very special time that everybody cares about themselves, and to see people that also want to give and donate their time and specialty, it's remarkable. So thank you for that. And I do know you also as a person, and I know the other things that you're doing. So you're great. Thank you.
I'm trying my best.
You are? Let's jump to the Zoho world a little bit. So what made you abandon your existing CRM or whatever solutions that you had and try to look for Zoho as a solution?
So I'll take you back to the time that I was a PhD student. I trained in epidemiology. Now, before 2020, no one knew what epidemiology was, right? And today, after the COVID, after the pandemic, everyone's an epidemiologist. We have a Monday epidemiologist sitting in a parliament somewhere in a coffee shop, right? Epidemiology is a philosophy in medicine that basically embraces data analysis and causality, meaning like what is the cause of diseases and trends, and looking in a very analytic way to find answers to those questions. And that's how I was trained. Biostatistic is a major component of those skill sets. And that actually, engraved in my brain that I have to have a very transparent data and analytics about what's going on in my business in order for me to make good decisions and to advance. Because if not, I'm just working in the dark.
For sure.
And also and I was looking for a while until I met you. It's a big project that requires a lot of investment, and that's a long road until you reach something that is functional and produces those answers that you're looking for. And you have to have good partner along the way that can help you build it. You have to train your staff to use it correctly, and you got to address it on a daily basis in order to integrate into your business. So that's basically what attracted me to look for this solution and find this system.
And how do you like Zoho? So you're with Zoho for almost like 6 months or so?
Yeah,
something
half
like
a
that.
year.
And how do you like Zoho so far as a system?
I love it.
Why?
First of all, it's comprehensive. It can gives you solution to every aspect of your business, and it can grow with your business. So it has the ability to scale up. And we started I just wanted to know at first, how do I convert leads? How do I do in that realm? Because this is the gateway to my practice, my private practice.
Right, and leads are expensive in this industry, in all the medical industry.
Very expensive. I didn't know, I had no clue how my employees, my practice manager, my care coordinator, how are they doing in converting those leads? Because I had very bad experience at the beginning. I also wanted to learn a little bit about the leads and how to basically identify which are a better potential and which ones, I can tell them, thank you, but you should look for someone else.
Right.
And you cannot learn those things without having the data. And Zoho just immediately from the model that you have developed for me immediately gave me those results in a very clear manner by having tables and graphs that's like telling me like, this is how you convert. This is patients who are seeking that, converting more, converting less. You are better in these months of the year, less in those months of the year. These sources are working better for you, and so on and so forth. So I had like an immediate gratification from implementing Zoho. There are of course ways and pathways to improve and utilize it better.
Right.
But I liked it very much.
For people that don't understand the process in the medical field, because it's so competitive, you will have someone that you spend money with to do your advertisements and your marketing. And then you need to pay for the sources, wherever you're buying the traffic from AdWords or Facebook or specialized websites. And then those leads coming to your system. And then it's extremely expensive. And most businesses will not have any way to understand where the leads are coming from, how much it costs to bring them, which phrases people looked when they came in, what kind of services they're looking for. And the bottom line is you're flying very fast with your eyes closed, and you just hope that you won't crash into something and whatever you do is right. So,
correct.
So what you said now, for me also, it will be a main factor in the system I work with, because it's critical to know where you spend your money, how much coming in. And I will say just one more thing. It's common that before people will have a tracking system, a proper tracking system, they will feel that some sources are the winners and they are the best sources. But once they have a system and they see how much money you spend on a source or a campaign and how much money it brings in, then they're shocked that they see that the places that they thought are the winners, they're actually not, because they just bring leads, but they're not converting to anything.
Right.
And then you just, waste money, waste tons of time, and you got no return.
Agreed. You can look at a lot of aspects of your business in a very simplified manner, or something that summarizes those, and you can compare. For example, I did a very simple graph that shows the ratios between leads that come in that are converted and lost throughout the year on a monthly basis. And you can see from this graph that the ratio between losts and converted remains the same throughout the year. It doesn't matter when. So my very immediate conclusion was, I just need to increase the overall lead flow into my practice in order to get more converted leads. Also, the next phase that I'm working on is, why are those leads lost? So you have recording of the conversations, and you can sit with your staff, and that's what we're doing on a weekly basis, and analyze those calls and see what could we have done better, change, maybe offer new things. For example, when I started very fast, I moved from complimentary consultations, free consultations, to paid, because I found a huge no-show rate. Basically, people think, oh, we don't pay, so it's probably not worth it.
Right.
And when you do paid consultations, a lot of people, drop. A lot of leads drop down. And then
the quality goes up.
And right, but then we came with another thing and said, okay, you know what, you don't want to pay, fine, but you can meet the doctor for like a 10-minute virtual, which for me, it's easy, something I can easily give for free. And the response rate is pretty high, and we already made 50% of them convert.
Fantastic. I had also last week a tax lawyer named Alexi, and he also he mentioned exactly what you're talking about, that he used to give his time for free. People don't show up. He started to charge for those meetings, and then people show up. So, and I see it across the board. The thing is, you need to have some maturity to go to where you are. Most business owners, they will be afraid to lose the amount of leads, and then they will not do it. And therefore, they will suffer until they will have the maturity to charge for their time and the specialty. And also, it's increased conversion.
Exactly.
Now, you have also one more interesting thing in your system, that whenever leads comes in, it can show you how fast the team responds to the lead. How this is helping your business?
It's helping a lot, especially in understanding where, the effect of the response time on the lead conversion. And it's pretty clear. And I guess this is also something that you see across the board. If we don't answer them within, I would say, in my case, it's 60 minutes.
It's dead.
It's almost dead. It's like it goes down to 5% conversion.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Some businesses, it will be, 60 minutes. In home services, we see that you can be more violent, even 3-4 hours. Most businesses, if the person is not getting a response, he's out, he's going somewhere else.
There is something in my business, I don't know if in other fields, but we get a lot of incoming requests, leads, in very strange hours of the night, 1 a.m., 2 a.m. And
it's depending on the business. I assume that people that want to change the way they look, they will be more emotional about it. And that might be, I can't go to sleep, something is bothering me, and then they will search for it. It's not in every business. We usually get, let's say in my business, during business hours, because most of them will be business people. But in some businesses, you do see this fluctuation of hours.
Yeah. So relatively high percentage. We get those leads weekends, night, after they scroll enough on Instagram and feel insecure about the way they look.
That's right.
We get those. And then it's a little bit hard, to respond in 60 minutes. But then also Zoho helps you, because it sends them an email, sends them an SMS. There's already an initiation of engagement with the patient, an acknowledgement of the fact that they sent. And it's it sends there and ready in my follow-ups window for the practice manager to call straight thing in the morning.
That's amazing. And your practice manager will have a view that she can see exactly who she's supposed to contact with, why, what is the reason, and so on.
Absolutely.
Now, what do you do when people already coming in and they're sitting on the chair? How the system helps you with that?
So the system there, basically we're moving on to the next module, which is the deals module.
Right.
And there, again, the same thing. We'll have all the data inside the module. We'll have all the correspondence from before. So when the practice manager, if she forgot everything about the lead, in one view of the Zoho system, she already, remembers again what did we speak, what's the ballpark range she's looking for, what procedures, and everything's inside. Then I come in, I do my spiel, and if everything goes okay, the practice manager can go in and negotiate, and then the system basically produces the quote that is based on a price list that's already embedded in the deal system, and then the payment system that is documented there as well. And for me, again, I can have the analytics of the conversion rate in this funnel from the lead to the deal, and also assess like what was the closing price compared to the retail price, how good did we do compared to this type of patient, where we can categorize it according to the procedure that is being done, so on and so forth. So all those data summarized by Zoho for me helps me a lot to take new directions in the business, make decisions, educate my employees. And also sometimes it actually saves me, because the documentation and it happens on rare occasions, but sometimes an unhappy patients or patients who are complaining about pricing, about whatever, you have documentation. The call is recorded, everything is written in. So it's
important to have everything, all the data, the notes, everything in one place.
Mm-hmm.
And most doctors will work with some kind of MHR, right?
EMR,
EMR,
electronic medical record software.
EMR. And Dr. Kronos or something like that. Do you also have something like some application like that? You do. And how do you work with the two systems?
Well, there is duplication of data. I'm a bit hesitant still to move all my clinical documentation into Zoho for several reasons. First of all, those EMRs allow you to do elaborate things that also communicate with other health facilities. For example, I can get reports on lab and imaging directly to the system. I can prescribe medication directly through the system and everything.
Right, and therefore the database and everything.
Correct. Dr. Chrono has API ability. Those two systems can integrate together. That will solve a lot of issues for me and the duplication of work for my staff. But in the meantime, it's a dual work.
So you have basically Zoho is a system that takes the lead from the incoming lead all the way to the person buying the service, and Dr. Kronos will be for the service itself.
Correct. The clinical part of it, and also the billing part. So a big aspect of our business, if I do reconstructive services in my private practice, is billing insurance. And health insurance is a big labyrinth to work with. Currently, I'm working with revenue cycle management that comes through Dr. Chrono. So all the coding of my encounters and procedures that I do in Dr. Chrono are being billed through this system.
Yeah, it's a big upside for sure.
Yes.
Okay, so thank you very, very much for spending some time with me today. You're awesome.
Thank you for having me. It was a real pleasure.
Continue your journey. It's amazing.